Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Dawn Patrol. January 13th. Not too cold out there today coming in. It was kind of comfortable. I'm Marty Lorrey. I'm the host this week on the Dawn Patrol. To my right is Bob Hoey. To his right is Tom Bomil. And to his right is Francisco Maldonado.
Good morning, Martin.
The Cisco Kid.
Sorry.
Here we go. It's been a busy week around the country, in the city, and new mayor, Eric Gitchier, and congratulations there. And we'll see how that moves on. It's a tough job. You really you have to put a lot of time into it, you know. And
is there a dress code?
No.
For the mayor?
No.
So the mayor can wear a sweatshirt or a ribbon cutting?
You remember Mayor Murphy? That was one of the criticisms. He didn't dress up. And I don't think there should be a dress code. Certain events. And what happens in the summer when it's 98 degrees?
You dress appropriately.
Yeah, a polo shirt and slacks. That's fine. But I was never one to. If you look at some of these towns and cities across the state, and they'll be on the news, and they have a selectman meeting or a council, they're not in sport jackets. In the summertime, they're in shorts.
Have you seen George Taylor? He'd tell you he doesn't ever wear a suit. He's always in. George Taylor's a selectman out in Drake.
Yeah.
And he dresses, and he says, "You see what you get. If you don't like it, I'm not changing my ways."
Right.
He doesn't care.
The other day, the inauguration for the city of Lowell, I'll tell you the funniest thing I seen in the day, talk about dress codes. Corey Robinson was in a suit. He was in a suit. He looked
Yeah.
good.
He looked good. He looked like
Yeah.
the man.
Yeah, he was in a suit.
Oh, I'd sent out a text what you guys wanted to talk about this week.
Well,
If you
wait a
had
second, Marty, let's just, hold on a second. Is it okay for a judge to wear a sweatshirt to court?
No,
Why?
respect. Respect
Oh.
of the office, of the room.
And you don't plug that into mayor?
I don't
Understood?
think- Public officials now, the courts are in a controlled environment. In the winter, it's heated. In the summer, it's cooled. They get how would you know? They have robes on anyway to begin with.
There are
Well,
certain.
Marty, I'm going to have to be on the other end of the seesaw with you. I think the mayor should be dressed up with a sport jacket, tie. I think he should be dressed as the mayor.
There are certain events you should be dressed up at.
Right.
I'm not going to mention names. I went to Phil Shea's funeral on Thursday, and the way some of our dignitaries were dressed up, wow! I'm saying, like I say, jeans and I would never wear jeans to a funeral, let alone church even. But I was kind of surprised at the way some of them were dressed.
And you know what they'll say? They're lucky I came.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
guys are old school. Unfortunately, the new generation, the newer, younger folks, they're more relaxed. I think even in the police department when I was a supervisor, I wanted all my guys clean cut, and that was
And what's
a big-
clean cut?
unshaved, no beards, no mustache, and they're pushing that on throughout the country. It's become more accepted on tattoos, on beards, mustache, and people are just adjusting to it. I think we're getting pushed out. Us older folks are being pushed out with that stringent look, dress for church, dress for on funerals. I mean, it's. I think we got relaxed on it with our kids, and now they're becoming more the majority, and they're taking, on over some of the dress codes at different places.
I was told by somebody who helps out at the high school subs, and they were saying that the way some of these kids dress, but you can't believe the way some of these teachers dress, especially the women. I mean, you sometimes don't know if they're a student or a teacher.
Why can't they wear a bikini to school?
I mean, it's just change of time. I mean, we're not going to church. Where do we learn how to dress with ties, right? Church, right? Every Sunday, we
Yeah,
put
well-
on our dress clothes, and then we drive around for 8 hours, and that was fun. It's changed. It's tough. Change is tough, but I agree with John in the fact that there's some places that you should, out of respect, you should put a tie on.
But you also got to have a. My wife worked down at the courthouse, and she'd say to me, "But you wouldn't believe how so and so dressed." They said, "Brent, if they don't have a dress code, they cannot say you can't dress that way. You've got to have a written dress code."
Right.
We had one at town hall. You had certain days you had to dress, neat, not sharp, whatever.
Yeah.
But if you don't have a dress code, right, you
Yeah,
can't
no,
really.
exactly. That was when I worked the nightclub scenes. That was
Yeah.
something that we used to monitor the people coming in. So you sort of enforced it on the people that you didn't want inside, that you knew that were going to cause problems after a couple beers. You're kind of like, hey, buddy, you have to. And most of the time, they didn't have a problem with it. They would go, if they really wanted to come into the club, they'd go home and change. But it was a good way to
Okay, back over to Marty.
back to clothes. No clothes anymore. Sorry.
Well, the dress codes.
Let me throw something in there, because I know I was in a union. 429 was the number that was called back in 1980, let's say. And we had a dress code, a uniform. We had a prison guard uniform we were supposed to wear. And our union was so strong, right? We didn't have to wear it. They couldn't even get us into our uniforms. By threats, whatever they did, we just laughed at them. Because we weren't getting paid to wear a uniform. I guarantee it's like the cameras that are on them nowadays. They got paid to wear those
They
cameras.
get paid. The cops get paid to wear their name. Isn't that right,
I'm just
Cisco?
saying I was
Yes, they negotiated that into a contract 1 year.
that union though that I was in at the time at Concord Prison, the one they closed. I don't care what anybody tells me. They closed that because they want to finally say we got rid of Concord people. That's how strong it was. It was
No,
just.
they want to sell the real estate.
I don't care what they want to do with it, but telling you right now, they're gonna regret losing these prisons because we need more people in jail. That's just my opinion. It's an opinion show, you know.
If you look at Google Massachusetts Parole Board, and they must have let, if not 50, close to it, first and second degree murderers out. Anyone under the age of 20 gets a parole hearing now because their minds weren't developed, according to the Massachusetts Judicial Supreme Court. So they get a parole hearing, even though it's first degree, and they're letting them out. And now they have a bill they're discussing down in Boston. Any first degree murderer, any age, will be eligible for parole in 25 years. And it's the same thing. Oh, they don't have to let them go. It's there for it. But that's what they said with the under 20. Oh, they don't have to parole
That's
them.
what they said with the millionaires tax, and now we're all millionaires.
Now we're all,
Okay, to the crew at the table, see the TV monitor there right there?
Yeah.
Look at that. Do not look at physically the person at the table. Look at the person on the TV set. Thank you.
I'm good at that, Marty. I like looking at myself, honestly.
Well, Francisco does a terrible job.
I know, I just realized that. I gotta look at.
Tommy
I'm
is
looking for-
second worst. Cisco, you're the
Well,
worst.
I watch
Tommy's
the show
second.
a lot, and a lot of people don't do it, so I'm going to defend myself
well,
here.
what I'm saying is, you're a constant host. Please, thank you.
So, Marty, I want to go back to what you were talking about maybe last week regarding the mayor's job.
Yep.
And Eric being the mayor, the 7-4 switch you were talked about. Bobby, we've talked about this before. Do you think now Eric can get some support and votes that he likes? Like, for example, eye-line item on the budgets?
I think he's going to have a real hard time being.
Still, huh?
Well, on the city side of things. But what's important to me is the school side of things, and I think he's going to bring something to the schools that we've probably never seen, to be honest with you. Just the way he gets along with young people out there at the Greater Lowell Technical High School. It's his attitude. It's his role model type stuff. He's just a tremendous human being. So I think for the schools, and with Danielle McFadden, 1-2, I mean, listen, I come in third out of the 4, right? I knew, I told my wife, I said, we have no chance. She's saying, why? I says, well, one of them left. I won't say names, but one of the school committee people left. I'll call it a micromanager, left. We got one more there, but I can live with that one because she's a nice person and she forgets everything the next day. So with Danielle McFadden and the new mayor, oh, I'm excited. I'm actually going to go to the meetings so I can stay up on everything. And I'm pretty sure, Marty, is it the first Wednesday and
I think
third
it's
Wednesday of the month?
second and fourth, I think.
Yeah.
Second and fourth. I think.
Second and fourth? I'll find out.
I might be wrong. It could be first and
I always thought it was first and third.
Well, you were on the school committee. What was it?
Right.
Was it third?
First and third.
Yeah,
I
then
think,
you're right then, yeah.
Yeah. I'm excited for the schools, though. That's all I can say.
So you don't think the vote on the council will, you still
It's gonna
think you'll
be
have a hard
tough.
time
It's
getting
gonna be
support?
tough. It's gonna be
Really?
tough, yeah.
No, I think, it's good what they're doing now. I think they're gonna work together. They're gonna try to work together. It's gonna be a give or take on things, so, I mean,
I think that council is so split right now.
Oh, me too.
And,
Yeah.
it's split bad.
yeah.
And here's the issue for Eric. Eric now is the mayor, so he just can't talk like he did. Now, Danny Rourke would talk from the podium, but Danny would always say, and mayors do, if there's no objections,
Yeah.
I'll stay at the
And
podium.
he wouldn't speak long.
Right. And we'll see how that goes. Eric might have to come down to speak, but he loses the microphone a little bit there. He does have more votes, and it was always 7-4. Now it's 7-4 in their favor. If they want to do a line item on the budget, someone makes a motion, we want a line item on the budget, well, they have the 7 votes now, probably.
Yeah, that's what I'm
And they didn't before. So I think the manager lost 3 key votes, or 2 key votes, but we'll see where it goes. I could be wrong. It's just what I've seen in the past and how I think council's going to go. It doesn't mean it's a bad council, it's a good council. I think as long as the city's moving along and the good projects are being upheld, that's fine. I mean, politics is politics. They're then now you have 11 city councilors, so you have 11 different opinions. And that's good. Different voices are good. The subcommittees will come out, and now Eric has a chance to put his fingerprints on the committees, who's going to head them.
I'm sorry I laughed, but Belinda Giron will be in charge of the finance subcommittee.
I don't know.
I'm hoping. That's beautiful.
Is that her background?
Well, she'd be fantastic at that, you know.
Back when I was on, people like Billy Martin and Rodney or Broderick, Kevin Broderick were on those committees. They were on the council so long, they were very familiar with it. I had transportation subcommittee, and it was funny because for years I was on it, and we got to have a New York bridge. We had the money for the studies, and they were doing them. The only thing we didn't have the money for was the bridge, and it came out like 2027, 2028 would be the time. And I've been saying that for years, and people, we need a bridge now. I don't care what you need. This is what I remember it to be. And what's it going to be? 27, 28.
Yeah.
So.
You know, you mentioned Rodney, you mentioned the name just now, Rodney, and it might stop me if I'm wrong. We have, I think, 4 candidates for that special election, right?
That's correct, yes.
2 for the Democratic
Two in the
primary.
Democratic primary.
Right.
So that's the only one in February.
Yeah, but I'm saying, there's Sam Meese and Joe Espinola,
Yep.
they're the ones coming in, right, from...
From March 3rd.
Right.
Okay, and then Rodney and Vanna Howard. I'm going to tell you right now, you should see the backing Vanna Howard has. Really. Rodney's in second place. I look at things like...
No way. He's absolutely not.
Well, that's okay. That's
No way.
okay. And I'm trying to bring it up so we can get excited about it. It's the same thing with the midterms. I don't know where you stand in your politics, but I'm just telling you, out of the 4 right now, I like Rodney. He's part of our team here all the time. You know, he never fails to come here. And they're really voting almost as identical. The votes are identical, but check and see the money. I'd love to see what Vanna Howard's doing. I see Mike Gallagher beside her. I see Nancy Donahue beside her. I see Nikki
Puppet string
Saunders.
holders.
Are those
Well,
votes?
no,
are those-
I'm just saying,
votes?
listen, I always go back to Mike Gallagher, Marty.
Right.
2,500 signatures to run for the Lower School Committee. I was blown away by that. These are people that just connect to a lot of Democrats. I'm unenrolled, by the way. I think you knew that. I'm going to wear a red tie here for a couple of months anyways, to the midterms. I'm unenrolled, and I like the way things are going.
I think she'll do fine in Lowell. I think Rodney will do good on one side. She'll do good in Belvedere. But the Highlands, to me, would be the battleground. And when I looked at Marcos Candido, what he did over there, and Vesna Noon is a big vote getter, I think she's going to do well in the Highlands.
She's
Now-
going to do well in Lowell. There's no
Wait
doubt
till
that
she
they're
gets
going
to
to
the
fight
town.
it, but
No, she's not.
he'll
What has
blow-
she done?
he'll blow it up.
Doesn't
Okay,
matter,
guys.
John.
What has she done? What has
Doesn't
Vanna
matter.
Howard
Doesn't
done?
matter. What did Elizabeth Warren do?
Exactly.
What did Markey do?
Marty, the question's out there. You're a seasoned guy. Name one thing Vanna Howard's done.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't
Do you
matter.
have an answer? One
Doesn't
thing.
matter. I gave him my answer. Doesn't matter.
John doesn't like
Okay.
the answer.
I mean,
Bobby,
in
name one thing
politics, it doesn't
Vanna
matter.
Howard. Make one thing Vanna Howard's done.
All I know about her is I heard that she would vote to have men in girls' bathrooms. That's all I heard. I don't know if that's true.
What has she done?
Nothing I could think of.
Mr. Bomil, anything that Vanna Howard's done?
She's not my rep. Name me one thing Colin Gary's done. I can't, even
Yeah.
think of it.
Cisco, name one thing that
I
Vanna Howard.
don't have anything specifically to say about Vanna. On what I do have, we touched on Bobby mentioned the strong support that she has. I think that's the reason you're going to have more cooperation at City Hall, because there's more engagement from the socialist group in the city, and I think they're looking at their councilors a lot more, and they're going to expect more. And if those councilors don't work together, they're probably not going to be councilors the next coming
Cisco,
election.
read these three.
On Good Morning, remember when President Trump told Zelensky to put on a suit. Yeah, I think I caught that.
Yeah.
Most people who were in the military are always shaven and look clean. That's true. I mean, it's a way to show people
Read the third one.
who's on the good team, I guess. Hopefully, it won't end up like the school department in town select people as in Drake it. They do not like one another. So, yeah, I mean,
They never have.
But Drake is a tough town.
Yeah.
yeah, I really believe you got to work together. You really do. If anything, we've all agree up here that there's a group of voters today that are challenging the norm. And if you're a politician, a long-term politician, and you want to get reelected or you want those high numbers, Vesta Noon did that. He brought on the young kids to help his campaign, and he topped the ticket. So I think they're going to have to work together. That's what I believe.
There's only 8,000 people that voted in Lowell.
Yeah.
So what you do is you go out, no one votes anymore. And this crap, well, we got to get the vote out. We got to get more people.
Yeah.
That's not true. They don't want that. They
No,
know what
they
their
don't.
vote is, and that's what they want to get out. And you're seeing that across the country. Now, Jerry Nutter came out with a thing on Inside Lowell a couple of weeks ago. I don't know if you guys read it. He looked at the voting record between Rodney and Vanna. There was no difference.
Mhm.
Yesterday, the Lowell Sun did their State House review. They do it every week. And who voted with the speaker? Both were at 100%. Calling Gary might have been around 75. Now, when you get to the general election, there's something that could help Joe. And one is, there was a bill submitted that cities and towns that haven't met the MBTA requirement yet would get one more year before they had to pay that penalty. And both Rodney and Vanna voted against it. Colleen supported it. Now, in Drake, that could be an issue. I don't know. I don't live in Drake. But to Tom's point, Tom's right. I don't think she can win in Drake and in Tingsboro. Now, how big the vote is out there, I don't know.
Well,
I think
Lowell's very important, though, to win, obviously. There's a lot of votes in Lowell compared to, let's say, Dunstable or Tingsboro,
Yeah.
any one of those towns. And when I see another guy like Brian Martin, okay, there's another guy that gets a lot of support. They're for Vanna Howard. And John, if you could, go look at the money. What is that? The Office of Finance, Political Finance?
Yeah.
See how the money has risen. I'm dying to see that because Rodney and Vanna were tied at about 100,000, and that was a while back. I'll bet you she's running away with it now with money, and I haven't seen it.
Have you looked at the union
She doesn't know where to
endorsements?
spend it.
No, it's just,
The union endorsements were mostly with Rodney.
that's
Yeah.
cool. Oh,
And
that's
They
good.
were knocking doors with them in Drake over the weekend.
Yeah.
Maybe this, well, I won't say which union. I could guess, but they're knocking doors with them. So
But do you think those days are gone, Marty, where if let's just say I'm with somebody that my friends are automatically going to be with that person? I don't
No, it
think
helps.
so.
It
I mean,
helps.
well, it helps. But I mean, like when you say
helps.
Martin, I don't think Nancy Donahue can get you 10 votes. I don't. You know, I mean,
Well,
and she's a nice person. I'm just saying.
what they do very well, and Vanna does, and Vesna does. Vesna works very hard. He probably does 3 drops in the city during an election cycle.
Yeah.
Vesna works, and they work the phone. And they know who the progressives are in the city. They know who their voters, and they go out. Look at Marcos Candido, and you were on that ballot.
Yeah.
He came back, he moved back in April. He ran in June, and they had already found their vote by September, and they got it out. And he came close to upsetting Johnny Dakota over there. Within 35 votes.
Very close.
Yeah,
35
John, no,
votes.
I'm going to tell you, I've never seen anybody work as hard as John Dakota did on election day.
Oh yeah.
I've never seen it.
Yeah.
I think he hugged everybody that went into the daily school. Everybody. Nobody got by him. Shaking hands, saying hello to people, which to me, meeting people is the biggest thing, you know.
And he still only survived by 35 votes.
Yeah.
And there's one of the nicest guys in the city, gives more time to charity, always giving back.
But times are changing, mate. I think people, next election, I'm down to see what happens. I mean,
That's
like,
gonna be-
like I said, everybody's already talking about 2 years from now and this, that. You could lose 3 new councils in 2 years.
That's right.
Things change, politics change.
Look at the midterms.
Yeah.
Now, you just had a socialist mayor in New York elected, and they're already screaming about some of the things and some of his appointments.
Yeah, yeah.
And I predicted a couple of weeks ago on Inside Low, Maura Healey will not be the gubernatorial candidate for the Democrats. And when you look at how many people have left her inner circle,
Yeah.
and now she's having issues with the guy with the drugs and the gun out in Springfield, my guess is they have a very good lieutenant governor. They may be urging her not to run.
Yeah.
Great attorney, honest as the day is long, nice person, maybe not.
I had even heard
gubernatorial.
through the grapevine that her and her lieutenant governor weren't getting along that great.
Didn't-
So
really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Her lieutenant governor, and I've said it many times, town manager in Chelsea when it was really bad, she turned it around. Ran for mayor in Salem, turned it around. She has a record of success. And I'm not surprised they don't get along. That's
It happens.
Reagan and Bush never got along, you know.
Now, let me.
That is what happens.
Marty, you've been at this longer than I have. Do you believe that being a conservative in the state and having that mindset, my vote doesn't matter, is affecting the turnout? You think if people that are conservative or in the middle, let's say, would go out and say, look, my vote does matter, and I need to get out there and I need to bring more of these conservative voters back to the polls? Or have they just given up and you got the socialist Democrats taking over?
Well, there's 3 gubernatorial candidates now for the governors, and a couple have really come. One's a Trumper, the other 2 are more like the former governor we had. What's interesting in this election is there's 12 ballot questions right now, 12, which if I'm hosting a debate, I have to ask the state reps, is that telling me that you people don't listen? That you only work for the Speaker or the Senate President? 12 ballot questions, and that takes over 85,000 signatures. So if those people from those 12 ballots come out and run, that's, I mean, vote. That you could see a surprise down but there's no Republicans running for the Senate and House.
Yeah.
It's all gubernatorial. And some of my Republican friends, well, Charlie Baker wasn't a Republican, this and that, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
If Charlie Baker was governor, do you think he'd have the migrant problem in Massachusetts? You think they would have spent $3 billion on migrants? And now it's come out, and there's a strong belief in this state that those migrants were brought in because so many people were leaving the state were afraid of losing a congressional seat, or 2, maybe 2. And that's what this is all about, is saving a congressional
Numbers,
seat.
yeah.
So, and that's been out there a while. Whether it's true or not, I don't know, but I believe it.
You know,
Yeah.
I remember making the comment, I think Tom was the host. I made the comment that if my man Eric Gitcher doesn't top the ticket, I'm moving out of the state. Oh, I did. I said that. And
Go to
that-
Ireland with Rosie.
Listen, it's still something I can't get through this thick head. How does a guy like Vesna, and I have nothing against him, but look at what he's done in the city council. I paid attention, watched most of the city council meetings. What's he done compared to what Eric has done? And that voting base, that 8,000 people, it's a little Democratic City Committee, number one. Whoever they're gonna back, watch out, because they get the vote out. They
They
get
get their
people.
vote, yeah.
Yeah, they get the vote out. It's not easy.
I did
It's
hear
not
that.
easy.
I did hear that
And
Martin and
just
that
to-
crew are working overtime for her.
And just to throw a curveball in things, Cisco, is AOC Puerto Rican?
And yes, she is.
I think she's going to draw the most attention for the Democratic side. Whatever, I think she's going to be one of the
If
ones
they
that-
vote on looks, she will.
I think she's going to get the
I knew you were gonna
nomination.
say
I
that.
think she's going to get
She's
the
going
nomination.
across the country with
Yeah.
Bernie Sanders
Bernie's playing,
right now.
playing puppet master. Bernie's playing puppet master, which he is throughout this country. he's strategically putting people in positions to get his candidate to run for president. Whether it be AOC or someone else, Bernie's going to be the man running
In
the strings.
2016, 2020, Bernie Sanders was running away with the Democratic nomination. And both times, the superdelegates, the heads of the Democratic Party, put the brakes on them. They got Hillary Clinton in 2016, then they got Joe Biden in 2020.
So who do you think will be Vance for the Republicans, or do you think anybody else?
AOC,
will?
they're going to get their vote
No,
up.
I meant, do you think Vance will be the
I
Republican?
think Vance, yeah, it looks like the Republicans
Vance
are
Rubio,
lining
they're
up behind
talking.
him.
Yeah.
I'd rather see Vance and Trump's daughter, Ivanka.
To be honest, if they put AOC against Vance on, that could work for the Democrats. I mean,
I don't think so, I'm sorry.
She's
I don't think
tough.
so, I'm sorry. She'll be fun to watch.
well, again, look, you just mentioned Eric. Why did he not top the ticket?
Yeah.
Because he didn't swing to the very progressive side of the Democratic Party, and
No.
he's made some
No, I don't-
votes that lost some voters for him.
They, down in New York, from what my understanding is, the progressives have told the governor, how do they pronounce the name, Hochul? Or-
Something like that, Herschel or Herschel.
And Senator Schumer, you don't come to the left, we're dumping you, we're getting rid of you. And not that they have a big voting base, they probably have 25%, but they vote, they're active, they make phone calls, they go out, and they talk about issues. Well, Trump is talking about going after Greenland and the Gulf of America. They're talking about housing. You saw it with Marcos. You're talking about housing, you're talking about jobs, you're talking about the economy, putting food on the table. I was reading this week how great the economy's doing, and no one can understand why people aren't lining up behind Trump. To me, it hasn't hit the workroom floor yet. The average American hasn't felt those gains. When they do, it will change. But you can look at all these indicators until it hits the workroom floor in Main Street America. I don't think it matters.
And you just see where, I already forgot, Marcos, is that the kid's name?
Yeah, Marcos
See,
Candido.
he's staying involved. He was involved with a protest this weekend,
Yeah.
and Lord just saw that. But he's keeping his name out there. He'll be back in 2 years. There's no
Of course he
doubt
will.
about it. Yeah.
And he'll be back, but the Democrat Socialist, and I wish I should go back and Google it. Around the 80s or early 90s, the Socialists realized they weren't going to win seats in America. So the head of the Socialist Party said, listen, we're going to merge ourselves with a party and take it. And they merged themselves with the Democrats. And now when you go to the convention, a Democratic convention in the state, this July or August, I can just about guarantee you 70% of the delegates will be progressives. There will be Democrat Socialists. They're going to go to these,
Without a doubt.
they go to these quorums and they run as delegates and they win. And that's why I say they work hard. They work.
Oh, think
Give
of
it to them.
They're changing the Democratic name.
Oh.
Democratic Socialists is what they're running on now.
Absolutely.
And they're running throughout the country saying, I'm a socialist and I believe in socialism. And we're going to share everything, and everybody's going to be happy, and your kids are going to be taken care of by the community, and you're going to get good jobs, and food's going to go down because we're going to have government-run supermarkets. It's just going to be a beautiful society.
You're a police officer, right? And the stuff that I see that's going on, how people disrespect law and order, is, for me, maybe in my top three issues. Economy's always number one, obviously, your money, what's in my wallet. But number two is safety.
Yeah, no.
Safety.
Always is.
I wanted to talk about that ICE incident but before I leave, just basically, people need to understand that when you're engaging with a police officer, you're engaging in a situation that could turn into a life or death situation because they're guns. Guns are made for one reason, they're made to kill. And we, as a community, have empowered officers, police officers, ICE officers, to enforce the laws. And it's not a pretty job. It isn't nice. But unless the laws change, we as a community, as a citizen, have already determined which laws we want to enforce, and we've given these folks that we vetted to enforce the laws. And if you want those laws to change, you can't do it on the street. It's just too dangerous.
You know, in my young
Someone's going to end up dead, and that I've said that from the very beginning when this was all happening, and it's going to continue because, again, you're in a situation, whether it's the police officer or the protester, the agitators, you're animals. At the end of the day, when you're threatened, you go into that fight, flight, or freeze, and when you're in that situation, things happen very quick, and there are guns there, which I said again, are made for one reason only, and that's to kill, right?
Or cars.
Car,
Use the car.
In fact, I would rather take on an opponent with a handgun than a car, because you literally could avoid getting shot by moving. If there's someone being shot at by a gun, the best defense that you can have to avoid getting hurt is to move, and move rapidly and create distance, because the further you're away from a handgun, the more accurate that shooter has to be, and they're poorly trained. So that's the one thing we do have with police officers. They're properly trained. So if they're going to aim that weapon at someone, more likely than not, they're going to use that weapon for what its intended reason to have it, to kill. Someone's going to get killed. And legally, because they have the law on their side. If you're interfering with police procedures or their job, you're breaking the law. Simply as that.
It's hard for the police, I think, today, or any of the agencies. It's all about the narrative. Now, within minutes of that incident, you had the mayor of that city and the governor calling that ICE agent a murderer, okay? They took the narrative, and it's hard to turn it. Now, they're starting to really look into her background. There's some things I'm reading that's disturbing.
Yeah.
One of the things I don't know if the police got out of that car was her cell phone. And you know how that can be. When they get the cell phone, who she was calling, who was she, and now they're looking at the training. These people, and I'm not saying her or her partner or her husband, but many of these agitators are trained. And they're finding this out, and they're finding out what the training is. And let's face it, in 2020, they demonized the police after the Rodney, and he went to jail.
Who wanted to defund the police? The Democrats, right? They wanted to defund the police. They're still trying to defund the police. They're still working against authority. Again, without authority, you're going to have chaos. And that's probably what you want in a socialist government, because then everyone needs the government and feels that the government is their solution to live. You know what I mean?
Am I wrong? The people that they're trying to protect, the immigrants, the ones here illegally, is that their future base? Really, think about that. Is that their base? And they don't want it to go. And in 2020, they demonized the police. In 2025, they're demonizing ICE agents.
Yes.
An agency that was put together by Bill Clinton, and it got stronger after 9/11. As I've said in the past, Obama deported 4 million people. Where were the signs? Where were the screaming?
Yeah.
It wasn't.
If you go to Boston quite a bit, you'll find out in life. I worked only 20 years in a prison. I didn't do the 32, remember that. But in my 20 years, I don't think I ever met one Chinese person. And I used to ask all the older COs, prison guards, hey, how come we never see Chinese people? Because there's a lot of them in Boston. It's because they take care of their own.
Yeah.
Really, it's almost like what goes on in our North Common. No, really, I'm serious.
I agree.
I've proved it to myself. The North Common's not having homeless and drugs hanging around there because they wouldn't allow it. The people wouldn't allow it. They don't want their kids seeing that stuff. So I'm pretty impressed with that part of the housing. But the housing authority, Tom, we got to crank them up a little bit.
Yeah.
The rest of it, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's interesting what's going on, and it will come to Lowell eventually. I think.
Oh yeah, they're pushing it. You see
Right.
some of the gathering they've got, and they're getting bigger and bigger. They're purposely looking for agitators to agitate the police. Again, I personally think there's smarter people that are using people like Waco effect that I call it. In fact, they're pulling strings and they're putting people in bad situation. Again, the best way to change what's going on in this country that you don't like with law enforcement is to go to your legislators and change the laws. You've already decided as a community to give these officers the power to enforce the laws, and they're just doing their jobs. I mean, if anything else, my biggest concern is where's the funding for training? If you're defunding the police, then you're lacking the training, you're lacking the ability for these officers to feel comfortable making decisions, and sometimes the decisions go real bad because of that. The fact that they wait longer and longer to react to something, the more the agitator gets bolder, and the more time for other people to come in a situation that could have ended without deadly force now ends with deadly force because the lack of training, and that comes down to defunding the police. I mean, you gotta have officers trained all the time, because it's not that they use that training every day. It's when they need to use it. Again, when they need to use it, they need to use it right, because there's only one time for you to get it right.
You made a good point. The ICE agency, this agency was formed by Bill Clinton through an act of Congress. You want change. Call your congressman. Have them put in bills and support it. That doesn't get much press. That doesn't get the yelling and screaming and finger pointing. But basically, you're right. You can do it that way. You can call your congressman. Hey, I don't like what's going on. Can you vote for this or put it for a change? But no one does it. No one.
With respect to calling your congressman, how do you get your congressman on the phone?
I haven't done it in years.
You cannot get your congressman. You can call Lori Trahan till you're blue in the face. You're never going to get her on the phone.
Then you know what?
Call her
Then you vote
husband. No, I'll
somewhere
call
else.
Dave. I'd call Dave.
Yeah, really. Call
Dave?
the office. Go down
Yeah,
there.
and if I
Who's Dave?
her husband.
Oh, you think he's going to?
I think so.
the
Yeah,
heck
I'm
is
pretty
that?
sure. Yeah, no, I just can get a hold of him. I know it.
Yeah.
Somebody calls Michelle.
Yeah.
Michelle goes, I ain't bringing that up.
They don't call us.
No, it's if they're not answering the phone, that's
But
a
no
problem.
congressman does.
Oh, on defense, Lori, I've actually called her office. And
Yeah.
she's called back. Nikki,
She called you back?
She's
Nikki
called back
Songus,
personally.
Hey, good
Nikki
for her.
Songus, on the other hand, never called me back.
Okay, she's
Never.
going to read this guy?
Yeah, she's called.
Oh,
Yeah,
right.
she's called back.
That's a new one.
When you have elected officials telling you not to listen to the police in a corrupt media and not reporting the facts, then you end up with anarchy. I don't watch the Academy Awards.
Somebody
and
asked for
those
the
things.
balances in their account, okay? Vanna Howard today has 65 grand,
That's it.
Yeah.
and Rodney Elliott has 34 grand.
Yep.
Yeah, well, they've spent a lot right now, though. You know, they spent
Wow,
a lot.
that's-
Yeah.
Well, I'm not the best looker in the world for this stuff, but that's what I come up with.
Okay,
For the
great.
Office of Personal
No,
Finance.
I appreciate that. No, that number is after all the spending they've done right now.
Right,
because,
and
Vanna's
yeah.
got twice as much.
That would have been as of January
First.
13th.
Start-
That actually
January
says 13,
13th.
yeah. Once you come into an election cycle, it's every 2 weeks. So, yep, that's about right.
Back to you
But
guys.
she
Thank
did
you.
raise, what, 20 grand in
Yeah.
one event.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, you know, they run things up here for the speaker, the attorney general.
Oh, yeah.
So, it's just the way it goes. You've raised money, but I think Rodney with the union thing, and I just don't see her winning, to Tom's point, and Drake it. Tom, what do you think? Drake it and Tingsboro?
Drake it. If he doesn't win Drake it, I quit, because he has people in Drake it that don't get along that are both supporting him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, when you say about people that don't get along.
Well, that's good.
And he has people that I see, I can't believe this one and this one is supporting Rodney, but they basically don't speak to each other, never mind, and that's good.
Let me ask
And
you
take
this.
take a little ride through Drake, I know signs don't vote through things, but you'll see, I see 2 Vanna Howard signs in Drake. I know signs don't vote, but I just think he'll win it in the towns. They'll split it.
If Rodney wins, does Joe Espinola have a shot?
I don't think so. That's
If
my opinion.
Vanna Howard wins, does Joe Espinola's chances get better?
But not.
And you had a Sam Mees.
He has to get
Yeah,
write-in votes.
Sam
Here we
is
go.
going to do a write-in. Unfortunately, he's registered as a Republican. He's looking for the Republican ballot nomination, but he's going to need 300 write-in voters or ticket voters, sticker voters,
Yeah.
right? In that sense. So
And February 3rd, which is 3 weeks from today.
Yeah, February.
Yep.
No, not on.
Yeah, February 3rd. He has to
Oh, yeah,
gets
he
the write-in
has,
votes,
he
yeah.
has to
If he
have
doesn't
a
get
right.
300.
So if you're voting, which I hope we're all voting, February 3rd is the preliminary the primary, sorry, for each body. The Democrat Party has 2 candidates. The Republicans don't have one, but if you're a Republican and you go in and you vote for Sam Mees, Sam, as long as you get Sam, the
300 votes.
300 votes will get him on the ballot. So he's trying to run in as a write-in or a sticker candidate. So Sam needs, his file says, Sam
Marty, you wanna
needs
do these?
300
No, sure.
write-in votes to appear on the ballot on March 3rd.
But Cisco, you don't have to be Republican. If you're an independent, you
Okay.
can pull either ballot.
Yes.
So you can pull a Republican. Blame YouTube also. How many people put all their videos out there? That's what people watch now. The city of Lowell has a manager who won't come on this program to answer the questions people have. What is he afraid of? Jay.
What's he afraid of?
Well, he
He's
goes on
afraid of-
CAP, he goes on Teddy's
He's
show.
afraid of
and-
the producer, excuse me.
Yeah.
I mean, think of this producer, come on. Over the last 2 years, Tom, you've been sitting here.
Yeah.
Well, there's a song out there, He Don't Impress Me Much.
No, he's just, they said why? Why doesn't he come on? I'm telling you why. Why would you? Why would you? I don't,
He's got a contract.
I don't remember Vanna
Go ahead,
Howard.
fire me.
Did you ever have Vanna Howard? I think you did. But Rodney's a regular man. He comes
Oh,
in all
that's
the time.
people ask me that. Let me go ask the calendar. The calendar knows everybody who's ever been here.
They,
Now, Joe,
Vanna's well-liked too, so that goes a long way.
Joe doesn't have Espinola. Did he get signatures? Or does he have to do write-in too?
No,
Because
He's
he's
an independent.
He's an independent. So, you
Yes.
gotta
So
say-
he'll be on the final ballot.
right.
Okay.
He'll get a lot.
March 3rd.
He'll get a lot of support if it's Vanna Howard. Let's say Vanna Howard wins on this side. He'll get a lot of support out of Lowell.
You know,
He's from Lowell too.
and it's
originally.
February 3rd. Say there's a snowstorm. The vote's going to be
Well,
way,
it could be
way.
a snowstorm between
For the
80
final
degrees.
election,
Yeah.
the Democrats will drum up that the fact that you stole roller skates off of somebody in 1956.
Oh,
All that stuff's going to come up the last week. He kicked his dog. She doesn't feed her cow. All that stuff's coming up the last week.
it always
Well,
does.
you know that we talked about Eric
Now-
Gitcher.
Okay, drop on.
We talked about Eric Gitcher and how, he come in second, and how did that happen? Okay, I looked at that and I say, well, there's a lot of reasons. He was making people probably miserable, like the city manager and stuff, the questions he always has. He's constantly hitting that. He wanted to go line item for line item in the budget, things that other people didn't want to do. So that probably hurt his votes. Same thing with Rodney. Rodney was around for a lot of years, 25, 29 years, Marty.
Something
I
like
don't
that, yeah.
And over those years, he has, what's a good word, ticked off some people. It's just natural. So I want those people just to say, you know what? I'm not going to hold that grudge. Don't hold that grudge. Look at who they are, and look at how hard they work. And to me, look at who they're related to. That's
There's
want
two
some
debates.
Eric.
There's 2 debates coming up, I guess. One on CAP and one on Teddy's
I've called
show.
both to see if they want to come on here.
I was going to say, John, did you have thought
I've
about
reached
doing
out to
something like
both.
that?
Marty has the story.
Oh, good.
They haven't got. I've talked to both.
How about having a debate here?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Honestly, I believe if you're a politician, that's part of your job. Whether you like the host or don't like the host, or you don't like the media, you have to face them, and you have to go in there, and you just have to, if they write something you don't like, then you find another avenue to get your message out, whether it be going to the other paper or the other station, but it's part of your job. It's part of your job to connect with everyone.
My friend, if you don't like the food in a restaurant, do you eat there?
No.
Oh, I feel the same way
Right.
about a radio station, a
really?
newspaper. That's how I feel. I'm just saying.
But it's
One of
not
the
your
things
job.
Yeah, it's not my
but
job.
If you're a food critic, do you show up and go in the restaurant and give them, a review?
How
Oh,
can you
fair
tell me,
review.
though, how
Dana
can you
Howard
tell
hasn't
me-
been here since August of
I'm just-
How can you
22.
Tell me that, it's hard to get here at 7 in the morning when you're
Thanks, John.
doing CAP debates.
Yeah.
I did the CAP debate 7:30. Unless John wants to tape it the night before or an afternoon before and then put it
No,
on.
I want
so-
the audience to be able to text in.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
I mean-
I agree.
You can always go on and refuse and say, look, I don't like the way you're asking questions, and I'm not going to answer that, and let's move on. And if the host gets, makes you uncomfortable at that point, you have a choice to say, guess what? We're going to end, you see it all the time, we're going to end this interview, and good luck, I'm out of here.
Was
I already
funny.
gave you the opportunity.
And Marty, you said that you reached out to them and they haven't got back to you? They've said
No, I've talked to both.
And they,
I gave them the 2 Tuesdays in play, and, but we
No
haven't.
response.
come to
Yeah,
an
hey,
agreement.
one of the
Well,
things
but no,
I don't.
I didn't hear the end. What's the end, Marty? They're going
What?
to call you back? They're not going to call you back?
No, I asked them to look at their calendars, and I haven't heard.
The one thing I don't like is scripted interviews. Again, if you're a politician and you want to work for the people, you want to work for me, I want you to be able to respond on unrehearsed. I mean,
well, but-
unfortunately, some folks need that, but some don't. But I think it comes with the job.
But, Cisco, today's politicians, they want certain things on their plate before they're going to sit at your table.
Oh, yeah. No,
And
I
if you don't want to
agree.
put those things on their plate, they ain't coming.
No,
has the mayor thrown his support to anybody in that race? Do we know? The Senate race? Do we know? I don't know.
Haven't
I
heard
know.
Do you
anything.
really think that anybody cares how much, what his favorite ice cream is? And you're gonna switch to your favorite ice cream to
Oh, I agree with you. Nobody can influence a vote. When Bobby brought up a point about Martin and the Gallagher crowd, nobody's going to influence. I don't have to
There is
necessarily
very-
agree with you all the
No,
time.
but they can get the vote out. That's what's more important, not who they're going to vote for. Don't, just to remind them they're so busy. Like CAP, what's the average age listening to CAP, 80?
85.
No, I would say 60 plus.
Okay.
Oh,
But do you know
so
anybody?
that means we're being watched by 90-year-olds
Yeah.
out
Let me
there.
ask you
I
this
can do
question.
it.
Man,
Do you know anybody who goes home to turn on the good radio? You listen to CAP in the car, and when you get home, do you turn on the good radio?
I listen to
the other night I turned it on. CAP.
I listen to classical.
I got AC/DC right out there
So-
in my
so-
vehicle.
Saturday
Now,
night,
Tommy, you seem to be the most devoted listener to WCAP. What device do you use?
radio,
Okay, do you have
regular
like
boys radio.
a
But
big
my point
Motorola
is,
radio with
turn
bass?
it on, and you don't own a radio in this house. There's not one radio in this house.
I'll
There's-
tell you,
My wife has one.
But Saturdays, I bet you they
It's
have
old
a bigger
transistor
crowd.
radio.
They have a bigger crowd on
But you turn
Saturday.
on the morning show, it's boring. You turn on the radio sometime, they're not even on air. The other day, I don't know what happens. And Gary blames Sam will blame Gary, and,
You're calling our show more boring on Wednesday?
No, I'm talking about
Oh, all right.
CAP.
Yeah, CAP. I'm
This-
on there on Wednesdays.
Well,
This
well,
is
Trey, how
boring.
often I listen,
Oh,
all
that's
right?
come down.
You're going to get a life.
this is how quickly
I gotta
things-
get a job.
This
Oh.
is how quickly things will spin in this city. I don't listen to the radio anymore, and I'm flipping the stations, and I hit CAP, and it was the Friday before the inauguration, and Sean McDonough was on, newly elected.
Yep.
and they were talking about the mayor's race, and he wasn't committing either way. And he says, well, one of the things about the mayor is he sits on the school committee and he has a vote on the school, but he's going on about that. So I'm sitting there, and that night I'm out, and I said to some people, I heard him say that. Now, he's a teacher. If he's not supporting me, I might very well go in and say, I don't want him to vote. He shouldn't have a vote because he can influence, as a teacher, that. There's a conflict of interest there. And someone told me I don't know if it's true, Monday morning, the solicitor walked up and said, you might not be able to vote. Now, I
find that hard to believe.
I was kidding around about that Friday night. And I don't know if it's true. I heard he was told that there's a question whether he could vote, and I started laughing. I said, that's how things turn so quickly in this city. But Teddy and I were debating on Inside Lowell. There's this vote coming back on the high school, was it $37 million to appropriate? Now, Eric and John Dakota voted against it. They need 8 votes. And he said, well, can McDonough vote for it? And I said, why not? That's not anything to do with his salary or benefits. He works in the building, but that's all it is. It's nothing to do with him personally. They told him he can't vote. It came back, he cannot vote on that bill. So now they've got to get 8 out of 10, which I think they will. And he said, well, do you think Dakota and Eric will? I said, I don't know, but they already put a shot across the bow. I said, Pedro Martinez and Clemens, when someone got up, did they drill one batter or all 9? They got their point across with the first batter,
There was rumors going around that Skinner had some influence over McDonough in voting for Eric. Did you hear that rumor?
Which one?
The superintendent of schools supposedly.
Oh, I heard that rumor too, yeah. And
Did you hear that rumor that our favorite mayor, Danny Rourke, was basically someone after Skinner? And
absolutely.
And he put him on with his
Yeah.
motion, put him on too.
Yeah.
And that's why I always was a supporter of Danny.
Yeah.
But
Danny was a great
rumors.
Cisco, you want to read the top one?
How many of Lowell's elected officials went to the NMCOG meeting at
NEMCOG.
UMass? NEMCOG.
Did you go to that?
I didn't go to that. What is that?
NEMCOG?
They get the Rourke Bridge.
Oh,
They-
okay.
They're the money and.
Okay, now here is the vote for vice mayor. And I think this is very telling as to which side people are going to come on for the next
That's
2
the
years.
split.
Yeah,
And these people are going to stick together. Chow, Dakota,
absolutely.
Rita Mercier, Danny Rourke, and Kim Scott. They're going to stick together.
Yep.
And on the other side is going to be Vesna, Corey Robinson. Where else? We got McDonough, Lang, Duran, and Gittier.
You ran
So
those
the manager's
last week,
losses.
and
yeah.
I said it wasn't the mayor's vote that was telling, it's this one.
The vice
That's the
mayor.
big one,
The
yeah.
vice
Yeah.
mayor.
There's your split.
But you're going to see it. It's the manager won't have his solid
No.
vote.
Well, there's a meeting tonight. We'll see how it goes tonight.
Yeah.
You just said it, Tom, you're right. The manager will not have his way anymore.
And that's why I think you'll see Eric be able to get some more support for some of the motions he makes. I always talk about the line item budget thing, going line by. I think he probably can get the votes now for that,
And Corey's part of that.
Oh, Corey and
Yeah. And
Lang,
this is a
I bet you
strange
Lang's gonna be
alliance.
part of that.
Well, this is a strange alliance. Resner and Lang, they're very much with the social democrats we were talking about. Eric and Corey, not so much. They're traditional Democrats. When does that split come apart? If they're bringing in things like there was this protest and they want the city council to vote on some type of memorandum, I guess I was reading. Well, say the council's brought it in. I can't see that coalition staying put for that. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. So that coalition's kind of.
I like that group though over there at the Jade. We went to Cisco.
Yeah, that was
The after
fun,
party.
too.
The
Yes.
after party. It was a mixture of Eric and Corey Robinson's crowd.
I wish them best.
My family is going to marry into Corey Robinson's family, actually.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of the name. Chapman, is it?
Yeah.
In Lowell, Chapman, yeah.
Brian
My niece, Danielle, is going out with one of Chapman's sons.
That's
I believe
Andy's
that's,
cousin.
yeah, yeah. Oh, they're the best people, Andy
Oh.
Simmons, are you kidding me?
Oh, they're a great family.
Oh.
Brian owns an environmental company.
Yes.
Yeah, I forget which one.
Oh, Brian Chapman
Yeah, from
Yeah,
Draker.
yeah.
he's a Draker boy.
My sister Ronnie
No,
there, her daughter.
Brian's already remarried. Brian's divorced, remarried. Are you talking
Yeah.
about Brian getting married again, or somebody his
son,
daughter?
Marion.
Oh, his daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah, he met, I think it's called Merrimack Valley Environmental. I'm not sure, but
Yeah.
I dealt with
Yeah,
him. I
yeah.
was a
Yep.
great guy,
Oh, he is.
charitable guy.
I like
Him and
his
his
brother.
brother
His
did-
brother Gus.
Yeah.
Oh, he's a one-man party.
Yeah.
I wish I could clone him and take him with me. I'd be a rich person. And he's just so much fun at the events that I've gone to with DJing, and I give him the mic and he takes over. I'm like, oh, this is easy money.
Gus is
and they
another
always
nice-
come back. Can we keep you for an hour? I'm like, yeah. And I'm making money on him without him knowing. Now you might know now.
Really good family.
Oh, yes.
And they're the Horns.
Yeah, you see, another one, Marty,
Simmons.
you might have seen. Funland in Salisbury was bought.
Yeah.
Was bought by
well-
Salapoli.
Hallsbury. See, bought
Look
it
in your
Hampton.
outfit.
He
Come
bought
on,
one
make
in
yourself
Hampton.
comfortable.
Oh, did he?
I thought he bought the one in Hampton.
Oh,
We're
you,
gonna go to
you,
break,
you
man?
might be right.
Yeah.
You
Hey,
might
guys,
be
we're
right.
gonna go to
Who's that?
Breakland.
All right.
It's going to break, folks.
Oh, yeah,
We'll be back. We're going to have coffee, and Cassella's
Grab a
coming in. Karen. I'm stepping back. I'm having coffee and cakes, and you guys continue the show. I'm going on an interview. Maybe I'll have a job. Oh, it's secret. It's on the let's get back. I don't want to go on the old list, buddy. I want to get in touch with
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to City Life. It's January 13th, and I'm Marty Lorrey. I'm hosting this week. Our guest is Karen Cassella, Bob Hoey,
Morning.
Tom Boble, and Francisco Maldonado. And we went through the first half hour, our first hour to Dawn Patrol, and now we're joined by Karen. Good morning.
Good morning.
How's it going?
Excellent.
Yeah.
How are you?
No change. I'm retired. The only thing that changes in my life is the ticking of the clock.
Right?
How's everything going over the Registry of Deeds?
Everything's going really well. Yeah, everybody's, doing well, doing their job. It's nothing's, we're slow.
Yeah.
Let's just say that. I do think, though, we're gonna see some movement, right? We see the rates coming down a little bit, so it'll give people some time to refi but, we get, that office, we're still catching up. We're doing a lot of, we have a small space, so we had to do some projects this summer. We had some interns, and we're still finishing this project, so we can have it done, hopefully, by April.
One of the things with the Registry of Deeds is the upturn of the economy, the downturn, if there's people putting liens on. Have you seen any movement either way that would tell you the economy's doing a little bit better or worse?
Well, I would say that we're seeing more liens. The sheriff's coming in on a daily basis, which we saw back in probably '08. So I think people are definitely hurting a little bit right now. Hopefully, things will change for them. But as long as everyone has a homestead on, even if you do have, you fall into some hard times, you have a lien put on your property, you don't have to sell it to pay that debt, but it's something worth to have on, and deal with the credit card company as you can.
I put one years ago, I refinanced, and the attorney said, I got to do this anyway, why don't I just do a homestead for you? And you can do them yourself.
Right.
What is it, $35?
It's $35.
And you can go down and fill the paperwork yourself, and I've got to go back down because once it's on, is it always on?
Right, yes.
I want to check that.
Well, before, it used to be if you refied, they would want you to put another one. Then they changed the law. So once you put one on, it's on. But now, they have changed things a little bit. So if you're over 62, and then you have a wife who's over 62, or a homeowner, both of you could file the homestead. So the homestead protects you for $1 million. But now they're allowing two people that are over 62 to file the 30, file them, and then you'll get $2 million protection.
Now, that's something I have to look into. My wife, I didn't know that. That's great, thank you.
Did you see when me and Tom were fighting for the seat so we could sit next to you? What are these that you made for us today?
Those are, they're brownies, cream cheese brownies.
All right, Tom just had one. How
Yeah.
are they, Tom?
They're horrible blobs, they don't have it. There'll be more for us that way.
I'm joking over here
What's
because
the
I try
process?
to eat
If
a
I
whole
go down
one.
with my wife, do I just go to the counter and ask for assistance, or?
Yep,
How-
once you
that's
come
all.
in, one of the girls, we have people that work the counters, every other day, well, they switch off, so once you walk in, someone will help you.
Oh,
We have
great.
notaries down there that will help you if you need the notary.
So it's 75, it's $35.
35 each.
If I bring my wife down and we both, is it still 35 or 70?
Well, you already have one in your name.
I think so, I get a check.
Okay, so did you file it before you were 62?
Yeah.
Okay, so then, you would probably want to file another one.
So
Over 62, and then if your wife was over 62, she would want to file one.
Okay,
So it
so
would be 70.
$70, okay. That was my question, how easy it is to do and the
Right,
cost?
and we only accept, though, cash or check.
Okay,
So, and a lot of people don't carry checks anymore. So that's something to think about. If you're going to come down, bring some. We have an ATM outside, but it's not always working.
So you don't take credit cards?
No credit cards, no debit cards.
is that because of the fees? I see
I
more
don't know,
people
we just
getting,
have never done it.
It's the
but-
fees, that's all it is.
It
The
is the
government
fees.
is here, and they want all their money,
Well, the-
all of it.
I mean, we're in the courthouse. I do believe that district court takes credit cards or debit cards.
They won't take checks at district court, because
See?
they're afraid it's gonna.
So they're the opposite.
When you're
So,
dealing with some people here.
right. No, I know. I get that.
Yeah, lawyers.
Lawyers.
Right.
funniest
You
thing
know-
I've ever saw was the old district court, I'm delivering mail, and I'm going in, and they knew me, so they have the metal detector, just go around, because I'm just, and there's a guy arguing with the court officers, and he's got a brown paper bag, and he's arguing, so now they grab him. They open it up, he's got, I don't know, probably half a pound of marijuana in there,
I know.
And the cops came over and arrested him. And I'm saying, why didn't he leave it in the car? Why didn't he stash it somewhere? And then one of the cops said to me, you're not dealing with the brightest people in the world here, he brings a bag of marijuana into the courthouse and doesn't want it.
Right.
I said, oh. So,
They
any
would-
other questions for Karen?
No, I just, I know she's only been there, well, how long you been there now? A little over a
A
year?
little over a
Yeah.
year.
Okay, so I know when I work, like, I work for John McDonough, and I look for free snacks. As much, I'm serious, candy bars,
Right.
cakes, oh my
Yeah.
God, I got everything when I worked there. And then water bottles, you can, one in your pocket and another one on the way home, water, hydrate, that's all
Right.
they used to talk about. But I bet you've been eating good in the registry of deeds, right?
That's right.
You're
Yes.
probably bringing in food from, what is it, Alfrescas, is it?
No, actually, I
She
bring
makes her
in.
own.
I
No,
bring,
I know, but
yeah,
I love, like I said, when you gave me that $100 gift certificate, I went straight out there. I didn't realize they had a store next to it.
Oh, yeah.
I know.
Oh, my God,
He's
it's
plugging in
beautiful.
the
Yeah.
restaurant.
No,
no, the
I'm just
modern-
Say
saying,
the restaurant.
the
Right.
restaurant, okay, it
Alfredo.
is
No, you can
amazing,
say
Good.
the name.
amazing store.
Their
though.
food's awesome.
they're having a fundraiser tonight over at El Fresca in the back for Jude.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
They do a lot of that stuff, right? Like for charities and all that, right? I'm finding this.
yeah, she's always donating or doing
Yeah.
something. But I wanted to bring this up while I was here because I saw this in the newspaper. It's nothing, it's Acton, so it has nothing to do with my registry, but it was something I thought, wow, it's an affordable elderly rental opportunity. So they must be building out in Acton for over 62.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's a great opportunity for people to really look into that. The rent is a little bit high, but I thought people that are looking to sell, your car insurance would be cheaper. Acton's a nice town.
It's very similar to Lowell downtown, if I remember right. I go through on a motorcycle. But they have the CVS's, the pharmacies, the walk-in centers and things like that. So if you need it, you're an elderly person, this is what you really need.
Right.
You don't need a bus to school. And I believe they do have a bus system in the town. So, yeah, if you're elderly, it's a good location
Yeah,
for
it's
you.
something that they should look into.
You talk about the Dunkin' Donuts closing downtown. We talked about it a couple
Oh,
weeks
yeah.
ago. I can't believe they didn't close the one up on what Central Street was. See, those kids were in that Dunkin' Donuts every morning from the high school and after school.
Yeah.
Where the one up at, you can't get into the place. It's homeless out there bothering you. and
Well,
everything. It's
one
really
of them
fun.
has parking, one doesn't. That's
Right.
And one is drive-throughs big too with them.
Yeah. So I mean, the
Wow.
parking would be a big issue. I think that would be the reason that
But if
that
you-
location's open and not
If
the
you were
one
down,
downtown.
if you were downtown early in the morning, you go by the kids are out the door getting their lattes and their
I
iced
couldn't go
coffees
there
and-
after till 10 o'clock
Yeah.
when I worked
Yeah.
at the bank. I used to
Again,
stop
free
there at-
coffee here, free coffee here.
The other thing
5:15.
too, back to the Dunkin' Donuts, they got more competition real close. There's two other coffee shops
Right.
in that strategically downtown that
Three.
compete
Rosie's.
with them. Oh, Rosie. Well, yeah, Rosie's more up
Well, what's
by
the franchise,
registry.
what's the franchise fee for Dunkin's? What's the because Rosie's doesn't pay any franchise fee.
Yeah.
And neither does the place next to CAP, whatever they call themselves. But Dunkin's has to pay a royalty or whatever.
But then there's a coffee shop right on, is it?
On Palmer Street.
Palmer Street,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's very
Yeah.
popular.
Yeah,
Mill
That
City.
one's
Mill
very
City,
popular.
yeah.
They do
They're-
a good job.
And the
Mill City
owners
has
are
the
great
older
people.
crowd, and Brood has the younger crowd.
Younger crowd, yeah.
Yeah.
Brood
Who's left
Awakening, that's the
over?
other one, sorry, I
Andy.
forgot the name.
Yeah, Brood
Great-
Awakening. Yeah.
Great guy. You know, you talk about bringing businesses into downtown. Well, we all have
Right.
talked about it. Andy has been extremely successful. He's been there probably since 2006. And he came in and they used to have the poems and folk singers and stuff like that. But he's found his niche in downtown Lowell, which is the younger crowd.
Yep.
And when I was doing radio, we would never park across the street because that was, and Timmy was always on that,
Mhm.
because those were his parking spots for people to jump in and
Yeah,
out and go.
yeah. Out of
And
respect.
I think the city buying that spot across the street might hurt him because people are now going to park there. But Andy has had a lot of success, so if you want to open a business in downtown Lowell, I think I'd see him.
Andy's
It's
a nice guy.
It's all timing too. He got in. Sorry, Tommy.
It's all right.
And he got in there at the right time. Wasn't he one of the first businesses when we were going back to trying to redevelop downtown with new businesses. I thought he got in there, and he was one of the first purchasers of some of the business condos down there.
Well, you can go to low plan, I believe still, and they'll give you X amount of dollars to start a business, marketing, rent,
Yeah.
to try to get you through that first year. The other one, I think it's Mill City, two young ladies own it, and that's really good. They're really
Yes,
busy.
they've done
it well,
They're busy in
yeah.
the morning.
Yeah.
And again, I used to go in there every now and then. The coffee's too strong for me. I like this. But you go in there to have an egg sandwich and an egg and cheese. They use real eggs. It's
Yeah.
not that.
You're talking about,
Right.
you're talking about Andy's place?
No,
Mills.
Andy
Oh,
too.
Oh, yeah.
Both.
But what I've
Both of those
amazed,
places use
Andy,
real
Andy
eggs.
has great food, great guy.
Yep.
Coffee's great. How is he allowed to have dogs in there?
What's that?
Dogs, and they're not service
Yeah.
dogs. People can bring their dogs in. I'm saying, I know in Drake you couldn't, and I've checked with a few. They said people don't complain, and not, but it's
Marty,
not
I've been to
service.
breakfast places where they let them smoke.
What's that, buddy?
I have been to breakfast places where they let them smoke.
In Lowell? Yeah.
Drink it.
Yeah.
Oh, Drake. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Before you came in, Cameron, we were talking about law and order in the way some police and security guards and stuff, the way they get abused by the people right now. And I don't know, you got an opinion, you only have, a son and a husband of the cops, right?
I absolutely do.
Yeah.
I don't like what's going on in this country with the police and law and order. There is no law and order.
No.
They want to have it their way. They want to do everything, whatever they're, protesting. They just go to work, get a job. I always said to my brother, like for instance, my brother, it's easier to go to work, get a job, pay your bills, isn't it? Than to be a protester and a homeless person and to keep fighting the law. No, I disagree with what's going on. It's too bad that we just can't get a handle on it.
And it's not going to get better, I don't think, unfortunately. I can't see it getting any better.
It's
gonna
your
get
public
worse.
officials.
Yeah.
Well, within minutes of that shooting, they were calling a ICE agent a murderer.
Yeah.
Now the evidence is coming out. Now if they get their cell phone, they're going to find out a lot more on the calls that day. But in Seattle, was it Seattle this week? The police shot 2 gang members. Did you see that?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, I
heard.
seen
And
that.
the mayor was
That was
crying.
Portland, I think.
Portland, okay, Portland. And the mayor's crying on the air while they're reading about it.
Yeah.
2 police officers, and these are gang members from another country. Now, allegedly gang members. I'll put
Yeah,
that
yeah,
there.
alleged.
Alleged gang members, and they get into a confrontation with the police, and the police shot them, and the mayor's crying. I'd be asking for his resignation
Right.
right now.
You know, what I always,
Why do you want to do these 3?
A
Oh,
volunteer
that's right.
radio host has resigned after authorities confirmed they're aware well, yes, he resigned after he made an alleged Vance death threat. He did it on social media. I was going to say, young people today, they really, they put anything on social media. He graduated, I believe, in 2012.
And don't forget about Arthur's Diner.
So but he's probably in his 30s, so he's not a kid, okay?
Right.
He's in his 30s. And then don't forget about Arthur's Diner. I don't think it's open anymore, is it?
Yeah, this
Yeah,
is.
they got the boot meals.
But you know, you go to almost any diner, and they've made their own version of the boot mill. You go
Yeah.
to Camden,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
go to Owl Diner.
But does it
They have to
taste
call
as
it something
good?
different.
And
I think it
what?
does.
Yeah, exactly. And what makes
I think it does.
what makes a boot meal?
I want to back up, Marty, for just 1 second. To me, it proves that there's a computer listening to this show right now. It wasn't anybody who was listening to WML. They probably have 3 listeners. It was a computer listening to WML that turned this guy in.
Yeah.
And that's what the government has computers listening to all these talk shows.
And they said, well,
And do they have a right to do that?
they have the the Secret Service, Haverhill Police, and they said there wasn't an immediate threat. Now, there was a young man from Lowell who went out to like Wyoming or Colorado, you probably know this story, and he walked in, I'm here to shoot the president, and George Bush was in town that day. I think he did time. you know? And he was from this area. That's something you don't you don't even fool around about shooting people in your own town, just regular people. It's not a joke anymore.
No.
And it's not, I'll kill him, but that's...
Well, that's why when I talk about guns, and I say they're made to kill. A gun was made to kill, all right? That's the only reason you have a gun or a rifle is to kill something. So with that said, if there's a gun pointed at you, you're telling that person you want to kill them. So you're going to get the same response from whoever you're pointing the gun to. And some people end up dead because of that. You can't make those threats. You have to educate people a lot better. And then politicians have to use some discretion. Some of the stuff that's going out over the media is horrible. And the voters need to go and vote them out if they can't do their jobs the way we ask them to do their jobs.
Public safety is number one.
Absolutely.
And that's right with the economy of the city. Everyone's worried about the Hamilton Canal and the economy. Yeah, that's great, but public service and schools, those are the big three. And the schools have got to be good and safe, and I think Lowell does a good job. And then I think the police in Lowell have always done a good job. I've never had a problem. I still walk around the city. I have no problem. If there's a crime in Lowell, it's usually crime on crime. And Francisco, I'll let you talk to that.
No, that's true. No, I think we have a very safe community. I don't feel scared to walk anywhere in the city at any time. I 29 years on my job, never really had to point my gun at anyone. We've always been able to talk to people, and because we're so diverse in the city, we've all have engaged with all the different cultures, and we understand. That's a big thing, understanding people's cultures, because culture really plays on people, how they react to the police officers. You have a Cambodian culture that grew up where the police were the enemy, and you have to take that into account as a police officer when you're dealing with someone on the street. But I think the one thing that we do have in Lowell, we do have a real diverse police department that's in tune with the community. So that's why you tend to interact with the Lowell police much better than other communities.
Can you remember the most dangerous situation you were ever in 29 years? That you really, this is a problem. I got a problem here. Anything particular?
I think people that are on drugs, when you're dealing with someone and you know there's no operator behind the engine, that's very dangerous. Had a couple of those situations, but I think in hindsight, if you go into those situations and you know after time that something's going wrong or something doesn't look right, and you get on the radio, and that's the good thing about working in the city. We can get from point A to point B within a couple minutes anywhere in the city, and we've trained our guys to go get on the radio and ask for assistance before they're actually physically involved in a situation that becomes a life or death situation. Again, you have police officers on a scene with guns. Guns are made to kill. And their primary thing would be to protect themselves and the public from someone taking their guns. So sometimes you have to use a gun to protect the community and protect yourself.
And in Lowell, if you look at the, demographics of Lowell, I just look at the high school. You look at 50% Spanish, about 29% white, 29% Southeast Asian, and about 8% blacks that are from Africa. It's the way to describe Lowell. We're very lucky. If you just go 30 miles down the road to Hyde Park, Dorchester, Roxbury, those places, they're killing each other. They're killing each other. It happens every day. Almost every day there's a murder in Boston, a shooting, and they never catch the people.
Well, look at the last week
Everybody's
in Lowell.
afraid.
There's been like 2 or 3 shootings up in the Highlands over Dutton Street the other night.
Right.
Yeah, you hear about almost every day. You listen to the Scanian.
But
there's
are they crime on crime?
gunfire.
Like, I
Right.
follow that story Bobby's talking about in Boston. That's drugs. A lot of that's drugs. And they're fighting over the drug wars. They're still doing it here.
Yeah.
They get out of prison, they want their turf back and this and that. And if you're caught in a crossfire, unfortunately, but I still find Lowell very safe. The police are great. I don't even know them, and we'll just be talking
Yeah,
on the
I think-
street.
Again, being a police officer in the city for 29 years, I think that the biggest component of our strategy in the city is the interaction that we have with the community. If you notice, the police is involved early. They have a bunch of programs throughout the city to engage the young kids. So you tend to learn people, and we tend to be here for many years. Look at us, we're still here, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, that engagement early, at the high school, we have at least 6 police officers at the high school that engage with those students there, and even all the elementary schools, I think, all now have resource officers. And our guys are always engaged with the community, and having that knowledge, having the community feel safe to talk to a police officer. We don't solve crimes. The community does. They come out and they reach out and call. They either call you on your cell phone. I used to get calls all the time. Hey, Cisco, you should check this out, and we find some great stuff. Crime, shootings in the city are down because we have a great network where we get these guns before they're used. I mean, so
And
before someone gets heated and takes a weapon, we tend to get them off the street.
And like Marty, I love walking around the city. I've done it, but I went to Phil Shea's funeral on Thursday, and I parked over near the Olympia because I figured the parking lot would be packed. I walked through that village over there, what's it called, North Common Village?
Yeah.
Felt safe. I don't feel safe walking around my neighborhood anymore. I used to love walking around South Common here.
Oh, I do all the time.
But I don't feel safe anymore.
I-
You're always
When I was a mailman, I used to carry my cell phone.
Yeah.
And I always had the police number, the cops, on duty.
Yeah.
And so I didn't have to call the station. And I would call them, and if they were on, hey, I'm the mailman, I know who should be where. They picked up 3 or 4 people.
Yeah.
Suspicious, and looking into windows and things like
Right,
that.
right.
But right before I retired, I'm working my route, and the police are going by, a couple of cars here and there. Jeez, Mickey O'Keefe pulls over, an old friend Mickey, and I asked, Mickey, what's going on? Oh, some kid just grabbed a purse, and I think he grabbed a purse, knocked him down, and he described him, if you see him. And I said, Mickey, he just walked into a house, and I gave him the street and the address. He said, are you serious? I says, he caught my eye because he wasn't running, but he was walking at a good pace, and he went into this house. So they went in and got him, and I went by the truck later, and I saw Mickey lecturing some of the young cops. You got to do the police work. And they're just driving around, Bubba, he's going on, and I'm laughing like hell. But, yeah, that's to your point. You make a call. And people say to me, oh, you don't want to get involved. You're the mailman. You don't know who you're dealing with. I really don't care. Drugs I didn't get involved in. The house selling drugs, if I see it, the cops know they're there. But people's suspicion and looking in cars and, no problem. Because I know the people on the road.
I always say you have to engage early on. You see something that's out of place, make the call. We have a non-emergency number in the city. It's 937 3200. Right? Yeah, 978-937-3200. Non-emergency call. Just give the
Why don't they answer the
dispatcher
phone when you call?
information.
One of the things, if this is a true emergency, dial 911.
Yeah, and
Like, who uses a phone to call a computer? When you call a low police station, you get a computer. That 3200 number's a joke.
Well, I think 3 or 4 years
Is it-
ago, I happened to drop my wife off at the courthouse. I drove her to work in the morning over here, and I was going up over the law, it's the old law, pass up the road, and I saw somebody down on the ground on the bridge. I called that number. Girl answered me. I said, I'm just driving by, Bubba, I saw somebody on the ground. I don't know if they're hurt, if there's something wrong. Can you describe the person? I said, wait, no, I just they asked too many questions. Just go down there and check it out. And I've had that happen. I was in the shrine one day at Mass. Somebody collapsed. And they're asking the guy, how old is she? I don't know this woman. You just send an ambulance. You know what I mean?
So,
Yes, someone-
let me just go back. When you do call on the dispatchers, there are multiple dispatchers on the phone, on listening to the conversation. One's going to ask questions. The other one is entering information and is actually contacting on offices and directing and getting people going. So
you get a call, you say, oh, I'm in South Low. We start directing officers South Low. Whoever's connected with the caller is getting more information. That area is getting smaller and smaller to
Why
a
don't
point
they answer the
where
phone
we
when you
can
call?
we get someone.
Why don't they answer the phone when you call? Hello, your call's very important to us.
You know, I'm having
Why don't they answer the
calls.
phone when you call 3200?
Because there's a lot of people calling.
Then have Tommy hire more of his friends.
I agree.
Here we go.
We need to create more jobs.
Tommy has plenty of friends needing a job.
John, I agree. Less management, more workers. Less chiefs, more Indians. Can you say that? Maybe
You
not.
know, nowadays, I'm having a flashback listening to you people over certain issues. But when we're talking police,
You people.
I remember like the year 69, 1978. I go way back. Those are the years that I was into a lot of mischief, let me put it that way.
Not you, Bobby.
We're down in Concord River. I was with a group of my friends, and we're all divvying up a pound of weed from Mexico, weed, cheap stuff. We're all divvying up, and the cops caught us. They made us go up on it, but to us it was gold, okay? Acapulco gold. Go up on the Roger Street Bridge, and they watched us dump it all out. And then you might have got a boot in the rear end, too. You know, where that bone, where it hurts?
Yeah.
And, but they never reported you, or they didn't tell your father. I think that's where we lost. I don't recommend we start hitting kids again, but I come from the generation that was whacked. We
Same
did
here.
something wrong. We got hit.
So,
Well, it's
so
rural.
I
It's-
agree with Bobby in the sense, sorry, it's just because it's police stuff. They've taken a lot of discretion away from police officers. Unfortunately, now with cameras, that discretion is going out the door, because the moment the police officer doesn't enforce the law through what's being recorded on the camera, now he's violating the law. Now you're gonna have someone criticize that they're not doing their job, which, there should be discretion, and we should give those officers the opportunity to make decisions that are in the best interest of the community, especially when it comes down to misdemeanors that would hurt a young adolescent that makes a stupid mistake. And you feel, through your experience, a lot of these guys have been on the job, it's a career, lifetime career, to make a decision that says, hey, I think this kid got the point. Yeah, he broke the law. Let's give him a break and send him off, But when you have that on camera, and you have zealous individuals that want to say, oh, this police officer, he's not doing his job, he broke the law, let's fire him. Guess what? That discretion goes out the door. So guess what? If you go out and you're the old teacher that went out and had 2 wines, and now probably is a little on the bad side and just needs a ride home and doesn't get involved in something really bad, that goes out the door. You know what I mean? And is that
I
the right
got
way
9 or
to
10
enforce the
announcements here,
law?
guys. So just let me blow through these. Rodney's having a party this week, January 15th, fundraiser for the Latino community, meet
That be
and
me?
greet. I'm going to read these, whether you like it or not, okay? And if you want to talk, please shut your microphone off, okay, Cisco? Thank you, okay. Cisco has a disease called diarrhea of the mouth, so you have to be careful with Cisco. Okay, so that's Rodney's party on the 15th. That's this week, 5:30 to 7 p.m., 45 Market Street. The Golden Gloves, they're going on right now, and good time. Keith Rudy sent me this. There's a QR code here for all kinds of information, but the Golden Gloves, bring your grandkids down there. I'd bring down just one at a time. It gets pretty crowded, and it's a good time. The Golden Gloves, good time. The Golden Gloves are also looking for sponsors, so you can buy a package like for $100. If Daddy Warbucks, they can spend even 10 grand. Bobby,
Yes, sir.
later, okay?
Yeah.
So moving right along here, after I chastised the guest, today is January 13th. Chelmsford Senior Center is having baked fish, rice, broccoli, and banana. So it can out there for $2. You should have a reservation. I don't want you to be disappointed, so you should have a reservation to go there. Sam Meese is having a party Thursday, January 15th, 5 to 8 p.m. at the Athenian Corner. Be there or be square. He's got a QR code here, so just click on that if you want more information. Out in Tewksbury and Drake it, today's the 13th, they're going to have beef stew. Now, you can't go to Tewksbury or Drake unless you have a reservation. So if you don't have a reservation, you're not gonna get beef stew, mashed potatoes, a biscuit, and a cookie today. Sorry, it's not happening. You gotta call up and make a reservation at Tewksbury and Drake. Lovely Lowell, Massachusetts is proud to have lunch 7 days a week. So any day, go over there around 10:30, fork over your $2. If you don't have the $2, they let you eat for free. And today's the 13th, they're gonna have beef stew. So head over there around 10:30 at the Lowell Senior Center. Great time, and I think that's my last announcement. Back over to you, Marty. Thank you.
John,
for your patience.
Thank you.
question for you, John, and then a comment. Why would they make make a reservation? You know, the Lowell doesn't, right? You can walk into Lowell, right? You don't-
Lowell, no reservation needed, but
Yeah.
Lowell gets, I mean, Evelyn, Sam, and Glenn Thorne, we all visited the three.
Yeah.
And Tewksbury, we had to make a reservation, so they
Wow.
have the food there for you.
Yeah.
Drake, same thing.
Yeah.
And Drake has a very strict list. And you better
That's
be
why I
on
don't
that
go there.
list. And so I wasn't on, I made the reservation, and they had everybody else's name but me, but luckily Sam Chase didn't come that day, so I said, I'll have Sam Chase's lunch. She said, what do I tell Sam? I said, Sam's not coming.
Marty,
So the
Marty,
Drake and
So going
Chase
back
gave
to-
me lunch.
I just want to make a comment about the police, with their job and all that. And part of the problem with the police, when they try to do their job, they go down to Jackson Street and don't get the support of the judges.
Yeah.
People, you know, they let them walk.
Well, Marty, they don't have lawyers.
I was gonna say that, the
They have
state
judges.
is still
Yeah.
not subsidized
Where's
that
Channel
money.
5 on that? Where is Channel 5 on that?
Where's the, I said Maura Healey wouldn't run, where's the governor been on that? Has anyone watching called their state reps? Why haven't you put on the bill to pay these people? You know, people are going, and the police are bringing them in, and they're.
Right.
what?
Yep.
Where
Jimmy's
are the
down there,
police
and they-
bellyaching?
They're
Where are the
walking out.
cops? Where are the cops bellyaching about this? Shouldn't the chief be on, shouldn't the chief give us a call and say, hey, you know what? We still have no lawyers over there. Shouldn't he call a radio station? Shouldn't he call the newspaper?
I've seen them in the Boston papers complaining, but you know what? They don't care. The governor hasn't taken any action, and the House Speaker, and you looked at the record yesterday in the Lowell Sun, 100% voting with the Speaker of the House. He's not doing anything about it. They don't like cops, and some of the people in the state, some of the elected
Right.
officials. Some do, some don't. But Governor Healey has not appropriated any money for the, and I feel bad for the attorneys. You know, they went to school, they have tuition costs, they have offices, they have insurance, they want to make money, and the police are rolling them in, and they're, well, then again, if they did go in and get convicted, the parole board's letting them out, so.
Marty,
Karen got up at 7 in the morning, or was here for 7. Anything you'd like to talk about?
No, not really. I just came in. We're going to be at the senior center, February 3rd, myself and my assistant. So if anyone out there is around, you should stop by. We'll have the homestead forms. Artie's going to be able to help you if you wanted to put the notification, so that you can protect your property.
Can they do it that day at the senior center?
Right, we'll
Oh,
be there,
great.
yeah.
Homestead Act.
Marty,
Yeah, the
So you
homestead,
schedule-
I'm a notary, Artie's a notary.
You schedule that event at
We did.
lunchtime, right? So you can enjoy the
It's-
lunch.
No.
Johnny said she doesn't need an appointment.
9:30.
You gotta
Marty.
be 60.
Marty, let me squeeze in for a second. Number one, your sisters, one of your sisters, Peggy, sent me get well cards. I really appreciate it. But she had a birthday the other day.
Yesterday.
Your niece Gina.
Oh, no, Sunday.
I think your niece Gina recently had a birthday.
Yes, Gina.
Yeah, so happy birthday to both of them. And
And condolences to an old neighborhood. I went to John Rose's wake Sunday. That was my sister's birthday. Kathy O'Connor.
okay,
And
really?
Danny O'Connor's, you know Danny.
My best friend, yeah. One of my
yeah.
best friends.
His brother-in-law passed away. And condolences to the O'Connor Rose family.
Marty, you want to read these?
Look what happened in Rhode Island. Took a citizen to say something when he saw something. It's no shock that gun permits are increasing. Most private citizens are being proactive as opposed to letting law enforcement handle situations. Home run, Mr. Hoey and the mayor in Boston. Lies to the public telling everyone Boston is safe. Dishonest press. I carry mace down there. as being a mailman, did having dog treats help or hurt you when you deliver mail? I carried them, and, but sometimes the post office didn't like it because of my day off. A sub might come on and there'd be 2 or 3 dogs sitting at the state in the corner waiting, and he wouldn't get out of the truck. Imagine if you had a system to report potholes. I thought we did, but
I got one more
I
thing.
thought it was online,
I got one more thing for Karen. You had many supporters in your election, and I know one big supporter of yours, Eric Gitcher. What do you think? I was blown away by the way he got
I
there.
was shocked.
Yeah, was it?
Shocked. I didn't know anything. Yeah, I couldn't believe it, but I was so happy.
He surprised me.
Yes,
did it.
congratulations,
He did it.
Eric. That's awesome.
He was a master when he did the way he did that perfectly. He did it behind the scenes. He wasn't making all the time, and I think he won it that weekend. You know, it's just
that's what I heard.
Yeah.
And he
just-
told us, surprise is coming, the surprise is coming.
Did he
you know?
keep
I did.
the same secretary, Marty? You know,
Yes,
Yes.
because I know there was
yeah.
talk that if Vesner had got it, somebody else was going to be getting that
he
position.
can't take he gets 30 grand that he can't take.
Right.
And I thought it'd be nice if he hired a high school kid or someone who wants to get involved in
Yeah.
after school. But I'm being
Well-
told he can't spend that money, even though it's appropriated to the mayors. He would have to have the council to vote to make it a special.
Well, there's
So
also,
do you think there's a chance-
an order out there to the city manager, find a way to pay everybody on the council.
I was going to say that. I was wondering if with this new council, will they do that? They should.
Well,
I
it's
think
already
they
out there.
requested it, but
Oh,
It's already been
Yeah, there
voted.
was a motion on that by
that's a state
Corey
rule.
Robinson.
Yeah,
Oh.
that's state. You
Yeah,
can't pay that.
Well, no, Marty,
Yeah, but you can
so's
get-
doing 65. Laws can get changed, and
They
we
haven't done it.
paid,
And they won't do it
Okay.
in Boston. I
I'm
know
gonna
they've
talk whether you like
requested
it or
it.
not, we paid city councilors for 20 years, until Bernie Lynch came along.
I agree. I don't know if you had anyone prior to that who didn't qualify. So let's leave it at that. After that, I do know we've had some, and they put in homeroom petitions. It goes nowhere. So I applaud the council for trying. They didn't do it for Mike Dillon on the school committee. I don't think they did.
I think Rourke tried and it didn't.
Sean
it
McDonough's
failed.
not getting paid either.
No, he's not.
Now, that would be a home rule petition, Marty?
I think they put in home rule petitions.
Yeah. So,
Otherwise,
'cause
that's
you-
a state rule.
What was the last home rule petition that Eddie Kennedy put in and he wasn't happy because all of a sudden they went, I think it was the special election, wasn't it, Bobby? And he wasn't happy, I know, when he put in a home rule petition, had the special election
And
to
they
be able to
didn't.
combine, and they didn't go
Well,
along with it. He wasn't happy.
He got the pay raises for the city council and the school committee.
The city
Yeah.
council used to ask the state delegation, they would have 19 people on the ballot. And
Right.
let's face it, 4 or 5,
Yep.
and they would say, can you put in a home rule petition? We don't have to have a preliminary for the 18.
Mhm.
And it came to the point where the delegation just said, we're sick of doing this.
I
They're getting
remember that.
sick of voting down in Boston on these home rule petitions.
What else they got to do?
What else?
What else they got to
I
do
don't
down
know.
there?
I don't know what they have to do,
Have you
John,
ever
but I
been down
can
there?
tell
When you
you,
walk into the State House, all you hear is laughing.
the response is they don't want to do it anymore. So that's that.
Too bad.
Yeah, well,
It's your job.
Well,
It's
bring
like,
it down.
it's like a fireman saying, I'm sick of going to these fires. I want to watch Oprah.
John,
Too
you
bad.
can bring
You
it
gotta go
down.
the
They're
fire.
not going to act on it.
So you
It's
don't
that
think
simple.
you don't think they'll do a home rule for this?
They can put in a home rule, but I can tell you where it's going to go in Boston.
I won't get, okay.
No,
Until we
go nowhere.
Once we get somebody to take Eddie's seat, then we'll have some traction down there. But all a state rep does is they're the HR for jobs in the state. That's all a
And then
state
they,
rep
agree.
does.
and then they become city manager in Lowell.
I agree, but the point is, you bring these home rules down there, and if the speaker doesn't want to act on it, they're not going to do it.
And the reason why Eric and McDonough can't get paid is because they already work for a municipality? Is that what it is?
and-
Okay.
It's ridiculous, because Eric works at the regional school, which isn't, it's part of the city of Lowell, but it is,
Yeah.
So you can't work for a municipality, but you can work for the state.
But frankly,
if
Well,
you
federal
ran for the
government.
city council.
You were
Your
a
federal
mailman, you didn't
government.
have to, yeah.
Well, I was retired.
the
But I mean,
laws
if
in
you want-
Massachusetts are
Yeah.
very old. They don't get looked at, and the best example out there is moving to 2026, okay? Where I can live with my girlfriend, same house, and she can work for me down in City Hall. And in fact, this does happen. But if we're married, she can't work in the same office with
Right,
me.
right.
So get into 2026. Because, I'm sorry, most people still get married, but it's like 59%.
When I was doing legislative work for the letter carriers union, a postal employee, I think in North Carolina, wanted to run for Congress. They told me he couldn't. He's a federal employee. The Hatch Act. Well, I want to run for Congress. Well, you have to quit. So they took it to court. They took it all the way to the Supreme Court, and he lost. You're a government employee, you cannot run for Congress. Now, to me, that's just Congress protecting its own interest, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, they can't pay these people. Sean McDonough couldn't vote, won't be able to vote on the budget item to put another $38 million into the high school, yet Congress can vote on bills on stocks. How many congressional members have stocks? And they're voting on these things constantly.
It's called insider trading, and it's legal.
I got a question
You
for
know,
you.
you shake your head.
If Sean McDonough all of a sudden took a position with the Drake School Department as a special eds teacher, could he get paid then?
Sure.
In law?
Yeah, I
Okay.
believe he could.
Oh, okay.
Who was the school committee woman? She does the show here. She works in another town.
Oh, Eileen Del Rossi,
Eileen
right?
Del Rossi.
Yeah.
Is Eileen paid? She doesn't work for the little school
No, I think
department.
she is.
Yeah. So,
Well, maybe Sean should think about that.
yeah, I just go somewhere else.
Question from the audience, how was the Golden Corral last night? The Golden Corral is in Manchester, New Hampshire. A little bit of a ride, but we loved it. It was great. Not a big crowd because I should have brought a brush with me, but we had a good time.
I remember
good.
Davy Robinson, Marty down at Mart Robinson's Sandwich Shop. That was his favorite restaurant. He used
Now,
to go
for those
visit.
who don't know, this is the radio guy. That's Gary Francis.
Right.
And that's Eileen Del Rossi, and that's
Jose Savante.
Well, going
yes,
back
Jose
to,
Cervantes. So that's
He's
last
staying
night.
active. He seems to be
Yeah,
staying
he
active.
is.
Yeah.
We're talking about the police department, and you have a son and a husband who's a
yeah.
police. What's it like? Everyone says, oh, the wives, the mental anguish that they go through some nights. What's it like?
I mean, Jimmy's been on for 32 years now, so it's been a long time. I think originally when he first got on, I was, uptight a little bit and nervous, not sleeping, but
Yeah.
as time goes on, you get used to it. As for my son, totally different. I worry more than anything about him. But he was young. Matt got on the police force when he was 21. So he was so young that I felt like he still didn't know Lowell as well as I did. So,
He's got the perfect person
no, he's
showing him the way.
Yeah.
And
His
Jimmy,
dad.
Matt
your
is-
husband is now
Yeah.
safe and sound out of the courthouse.
Right.
With it being the prosecutor,
Right. I mean,
that's going to be a
even-
lift off your shoulder.
Absolutely.
No, he's not on the streets, and
right.
that's good. Is he close to retirement? 32 years?
Yeah, 2.5 years.
Oh, good for him.
It'll be a little bit easier now
Well-
for him to retire when your wife had a big pay raise.
Well, they'll have to make
Oh,
supper
no,
every
Yeah,
night.
there you go. It's a home rule petition.
Jimmy works very hard, and
Yeah.
Right.
he always brings in extra money. He's always working for the family. I mean, he's always working extra details on,
Right.
and that's, I think, the hardest thing for families as police widowers when we're working, because we're thinking of our family when we work the extra on overtime or detail, so that you can bring money home, so you can save it or send your kid to the best schools, get your wife the best gifts and the bigger house. But sometimes they gotta get home sometimes.
Right.
Yeah.
You,
I
as
think
a
there's a
retired-
misconception about how much a police officer really makes.
Yeah.
Without those details.
Oh, no, it's, you're
Yeah,
absolutely right.
It's just
My
an
nephew told me
average.
that.
I mean, if you look at the city of Lowell salaries, some of these cops make less than a clerk.
Yes.
How do
Yeah.
you figure? I
Yeah.
mean, you're putting your life on the line.
Can
Yeah.
you do details
But
as a retired police officer?
Without those details.
I
The pay just
could,
doesn't
but
make sense.
I
You don't want to?
No, unfortunately, I had ordered a gun, and we'll talk about this
All right,
down
all
the
right.
road. And the gun that I ordered is made strictly
Kindly
for
look at the
police
monitor.
officers. under the governor on Haley's law that they passed. I can't possess that gun right now,
All
so
right.
we're working on trying to go
So it's a
around
shot
the
that
law.
you can- there's a
Yeah.
They're
shot
not gonna
you-
let you have the gun as long as you don't look at the monitor.
Okay, I'm sorry.
And she's got a whole list.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's crazy. I noticed they get 90,000 signatures, but I didn't see the gun bill on the 12 questions on the ballot. So I don't know where that's going right
Yeah.
now. They got 85,000. They got over 90,000 signatures in 30 days. And then Maura Healey didn't sign the preempt when they passed the bill. And they were all, oh, we don't need to sign it now. And they got 90,000 signatures in 30 days, and she ran down and signed the bill to make it law. So that's why I say Maura Healey, I ran her campaign up in this area when she first ran. Great attorney, smart as a whip, nice lady, honest as the day's long. Not a good governor.
Yeah.
Just an overhead. And this state's going to continue with the progressive left taking over the convention, putting only, you need 15% to run or get on the ballot. And I give them credit, they work hard, but 70 to 80% of those delegates will be progressives. And that's what you'll see on the Democratic ballot.
Marty, the simplest thing you can do when somebody's campaigning for something, and they promise you, I'll put a goldfish in everyone's house. The media has to ask that person, if you don't do that within a year that you're in office, will you resign?
Who are you going to, Boston Globe? They're not going to do it.
That's a question that's on
The-
the media.
the
That's why
TV
things are so screwed up in Massachusetts.
What
The press is afraid to ask a question.
TV station just went conservative? Was it CBS? And at the Academy Awards the other night, all the actors and actresses are out there.
Golden Globes, you mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
is that what it was? I don't watch
Yeah.
any of them.
Not me.
And
As
they're
soon as they go
complaining about
political,
CBS because they're not marching. Now, I remember the police telling me, remember when they had the burnings and the riots in LA
Yes.
4 years ago? All these actors are out there with them marching. Well, somewhere along the line, the marchers looked up on those hills and said, look at those nice houses, let's go up there. Oh, it all stopped. They wanted police protection, they wanted everything.
Right.
Their houses were gonna be torched.
So, Marty, they have a short window here as far as Maura Healey. Nobody will take her on in a party. Do you think they will? Or do you think they will
I
ban her?
think
There's a
she's-
short period. You got a short window. You got.
She's got a very short window. Hey, I said Joe Biden wasn't gonna be the nominee
That's
with a
right.
year
Good
left,
point.
and people laughed at me. I think people in her party want her to move aside
Yeah.
and maybe let Kim Driscoll. When you have that many people leave your cabinet
Yeah.
in 5 years, you have one of your aides being arrested with a gun and cocaine out in Springfield. Now they find out they paid him and they shouldn't have, so now they're chasing him for money.
I hear again through the grapevine that one of the candidates for state senate, not the male candidate, she has a big turnover in her staff. A person they doesn't get along with his staff. I don't know if that's true. You hear that stuff?
Healy?
No, I'm talking about our senator,
Oh, okay.
meaning our state senator candidates.
Oh,
Vanna Howard. Vanna
Yeah,
Howard.
I haven't really heard much.
Yeah.
Where I did debates for the longest time, I stayed out of it.
Yeah.
But nothing surprises me
Yeah.
today, you know? But we'll see where it all goes. Karen, how would you like to end? You get 9 minutes. Always great having you in.
right?
Talk about being a kind of a new grandmother. What do they call
Oh,
you?
yeah, Nani,
Nani.
yes.
How's
so
that feel?
Awesome. I have, my grandson, I just saw him last night, he was over, and I actually took him on Saturday to Karen Gray's shower, a friend of mine's shower. I love being a grandmother, it's the best feeling you can have.
You don't worry
I-
about your husband and son anymore, right?
No,
No,
I
you
do
got
not
your
worry.
grandkids.
Right? Oh, no, Jimmy,
He's
he was
cuckoo.
just saying last night, his name's Jack, our little grandson, and he's like, he melts him. He's like, he's
Oh, yeah.
just unbelievable. He's the cutest. He's so happy, you know?
And the things they come out with, the ones that
Right.
one of my grandsons, the things he'll come out with sometimes just out of the clear blue sky, like an adult almost talking. He's like a little old man. I tell him.
Right?
He's like,
Well, that was, we went to, I went to Neshoba Valley,
Tubing and stuff
tubing,
like
yes,
that.
with my granddaughter, who's 4, Matt's daughter, and she was great. It was so fun. But I do wonder how families afford
Oh,
Yeah.
going to these events.
It's crazy. isn't it?
$49 a person
Yeah.
for 2 hours.
Have
for
we
2
have we
hours.
gone to the movies? I can't afford the movies.
I said,
but
my gosh,
can you imagine
but
that cost too?
it was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I talked to a
It's
guy
worth it, I
last
guess,
night, he
for
took
the
his
day.
grandson to the Celtics, got the tickets, and at least $250 before they were even into the intermission for sodas and
Yeah. Yeah.
$250. I
How
don't
was
even
parking?
afford it.
How much to
Right.
park?
Oh, down in Boston?
It's $75. How's that?
With
Take the
the-
train.
Flat rate of hour.
Yeah.
How about the
flat rate?
How
Yeah.
about the Patriots? The next game, there'll probably be about 400 for the cheapest.
Sunday
Marty, you
at
want to
3.
take this one?
Doesn't matter who the governor is, don't forget that the citizens of Mass wanted an audit of the state.
Good
But
point.
they're fighting it, why?
Good point.
Watch
Marty,
for
good
Diane
point.
DeSoglio maybe to run for governor.
Right.
Her problem will be getting 15% at the convention. They'll shut her out. That's where they'll try to do it.
And when you say they, the high-ranking Dems?
No, the delegates.
Delegates.
Yes,
The
Yeah.
I mean,
delegates.
so they're the
The
establishment.
delegates vote at the convention to send you onto the ballot. And if the
Right.
progressive left, and I expect them to take 70 to 80% of the delegates, they're going to go and they're going to try to keep her off the
Now,
ballot.
Marty, what's going to happen to the Democrats? If DeSoglio tells the head of the Democrats, if you do this to me, I'm running as unenrolled.
You
Now,
know,
when she runs as unenrolled, she'll win.
she'll win. The problem is that they had that years ago. The guy from BU, who was the president of BU, he ran as a Democrat, and I can't think of his name.
John Silber.
John Silber. John Silber could not get 15% at the convention. They were shutting him out, and
Yep.
William Bolger, the state senate president, stepped in, and he got him at least 15% to put him on the ballot. He got on the preliminary ballot and won, going away. And then, I think that was the year the former Attorney General Bellotti ran.
Yeah.
And he says, I'm going to change the insurance company, and we're going to do this. And they said, you've been Attorney General for like 10 years, 12 years. You didn't do anything. What are you
No.
going to do it now?
No.
And to John's point, that was the media asking him the question.
And John Silber said what he felt. He didn't say what people wanted to hear.
Yeah.
And
He lost that last
Yeah.
weekend with Natalie Jacobson.
Exactly.
That was
I
one of
remember that.
That was one of my favorite things about the girl next to me, Karen. The first time she ran, she was unenrolled, correct?
Mhm.
And then she thought about it and said, I better sign up and be a Democrat. And then she won. See, that's my point. In this state, we can't even, the state of Mass doesn't even pay their bills. Do you know that?
I think you have to, you
Tomorrow
really
City
had
Life, we
to,
got Linda Baum's going to be the host, and town manager from Tingsboro, he's coming to Colin Loisel.
Go ahead, what'd you
Time
say?
is short.
Well, no, I think after running the first time unenrolled, I knew I had to pick a party. There's no way you can win in Massachusetts as an unenrolled.
Yeah, you proved that to me.
Did it help
Right,
you the
so-
second time because you had been on the ballot, people were familiar with your name?
Well, she took on a powerful incumbent, too.
Yeah,
No
she
matter what-
did.
how had a
I'm
lot-
sure,
you know,
I'm sure
yeah.
that definitely helped.
She
everyone.
had everybody against her.
Yeah.
Really,
Yeah.
a
Well,
lot
that
of
was
people.
the other thing.
Yeah.
And,
But it simply comes
and-
down to habit. People in Massachusetts, by habit, go and vote Democrat. That's
That's
it.
changing.
I know it's changing, Marty, but that's the reason
But the other
most of
thing
them
is,
vote
right,
Democrat, is a habit.
If when I was calling people to see if they would support me, some people, they knew nothing about it. Oh, someone already called me about someone else.
Right.
Well, wait a second. This is not a state rep job. This has no government value as far as laws and what I believe in. This is the registry of deeds. So you didn't care anything who I was, how many years experience I had. You just, because someone called you first, you're going to support them. You're not going to really look into it first.
Well,
And
I
always
would
said-
ask,
But then I always said, this job shouldn't have been on a ballot, right? But then after watching what happened with Maura Healey supporting my opponent,
Killed him.
well, yeah, but I know, but the problem is if it wasn't on the ballot, he would have got the job.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
So,
Oh,
and I was like
absolutely,
thankful that it was
Well,
on the ballot.
Karen, when I called down to the State House and I asked them, we don't have a lot of time for this, I'll make it really quick. I asked them, what are the duties? And when I finally get somebody to talk to, it's an elected position. It's whatever they want to do. If they don't want to go to work, they don't have to go to work. If they don't want to do anything all day, they don't have to. They're an elected official.
Right.
That's what your job description is. Do as you please.
Yeah,
Wow.
But it basically, no, but it basically, as you
I
said
didn't-
that, your job now is you're there, no benefits, right?
Right.
You just, you
It's so funny
no
because.
vacations, you just basically take time off and you still get paid no matter what. That's
Right,
how that
I
job
have no,
goes.
right,
Yeah.
I have no hours and,
Right.
but I'm in
Not that
there
you would
every
abuse it.
day.
I don't think you'd ever abuse it either.
Absolutely
Yeah,
not.
right.
And it's New Year's Eve,
Well,
I
Karen,
was
you
in
do the
there.
job. That was always,
Right. And
Karen
that's-
does the job. If you put Sakari in there, he's just gonna go around having a good time, having pictures taken with different people all day.
One thing people
Right.
don't realize, you're northern Middlesex.
Right,
How much is your budget?
1.3,
What's southern Middlesex?
Oh, jeez.
probably like
Yeah.
4.5.
They get about 4 times the money that Karen gets for her department.
Same population?
No, well,
No.
southern Middlesex, larger.
Yeah, it's a larger district, but, I mean, our budget's smaller than Essex North, and Essex North, they cover 5 towns.
So what's
Where-
Vanna doing for you about that? Zippity-doo-dah.
Matty, what is the rumor going around though about Sakari looking at a state rep seat? What state rep seat would he be looking at?
I predict he's gonna run. He's gonna
Against
run
who?
against Tara Hung.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And
I've
that's
been
gonna be a
hearing that
tight
rumor.
one. Yeah.
Well,
We'll get
Tara's
into that
throttling
one.
back. Every time he's supposed to come here, he tells me he's busy.
I'll tell you,
The
everyone
show's
I've
at 6
talked to
o'clock in
loves
the
him.
morning.
They love him. He's just a nice kid. He's
I
a
never met
smart
him.
kid, nice
Never met him.
kid.
Yeah.
People love him.
Well, maybe here's how you yell at poor Cisco here and doesn't want to get yelled at.
Cisco comes every week, you
I
should know
don't
better.
mind. I like John. In fact, I like him so much. I'm going to
Well, you
leave
know,
early,
how old is-
so he doesn't have to yell at me. I got to
Hey,
go.
say goodbye, kids.
How old?
I got a
Right,
job
have a good
interview.
day.
Thank you.
Thanks
Thank you.
for
Bye-bye
watching.
now.
Well, Tara Hahn probably likes to sleep better.